Here's what most handmade business owners get wrong about picking a niche, and what to do instead if you want to get real growth in 2025. If you're wondering how to niche down in a way that'll get you more views and sales, in a way that truly aligns with you, then keep watching. Even if you already have a handmade business and you already have a craft, this could really help you create an audience and a community that really connects with you and wants to buy from your business. If you're feeling stuck on what to sell, and you already have your niche, but you feel like you're not really connecting with your audience, niching down can really help you with that. I'm sharing some niche specific businesses that I believe would really work in 2025. Whether you are just starting out or you already have a business, but you feel like you're stuck and nothing seems to be working, finding a niche is something that I see over and over again that businesses do that really kind of catapults their business, gets them way more views, way more sales. And a lot of these times, these people can become self-employed off just doing this one thing and kind of like tweaking this one thing in their business. I hope this helps you see the potential that your handmade business has and where it can go with just niching down. So most people who watch my videos aren't subscribed, so I'd love it if you could subscribe and like this video. It really helps me reach more people just like you who need help growing their handmade business. So if you find videos like this helpful, please subscribe. I'm posting new videos every single week that could help you grow your handmade business, just like I did. Hi, I'm Becky. I'm a handmade business owner for 8 years now, and I have created absolutely everything from macrame to Suncatchers to floral designs. But now what I generally do is I make Suncatchers, like big ones like this, and I do DIY kits too. I'm the kind of person who is always full of ideas, and to be honest with you, I could probably create a new business every single week with all the ideas that I have in my head, but I definitely don't have time to do that. So what I'm going to do instead is share all these ideas with you and how you could grow these ideas into a real handmade business and how these kind of tips could work. I often think about different kinds of businesses like macrame or jewellery or pottery and how I would niche down in them to really kind of catch my audience and my community in a way that would actually make me sales and get me views. That's what's helped inspire this video, and now I help other handmade businesses grow their own with the challenges that 2025 can bring to handmade businesses. Whether that is navigating a saturated market, planning realistic goals, or finding a niche that actually sells. I'm here to help you grow a business that's both creative and sustainable. So the first niche I want to look at is number 10, which is jewellery. Now, jewellery is the most saturated, but the most profitable, I would say, of most handmade businesses. And when I do markets, I tend to see that these are the stalls that do the best. But online, it's much harder because there's way more people selling jewellery online. So if you are selling jewellery, you really need to have a niche. What is it that makes your jewellery different to everybody else's? And I think that's really key. You have to stand out in this saturated jewellery market if you have a business like that. Now, there are so many ways that you could niche down. You could use personalisation, or maybe you could kind of do like a really personalised brand where you get people to kind of pick different kinds of charms, and they could pick all different kinds of like little charms and choose from all these different kind of charms and then bring them together and have this kind of like charm necklace or bracelet. Or maybe all your jewellery is fantasy themed and based on like fantasy books, because I know they do really well at the minute, like Book Talk. And you could have like little fairies, swords, all different kinds of beautiful niche jewellery that could really work, and all them kinds of customers could really find you in that spot. Maybe all your jewellery will be different kinds of dogs, like different kinds of like dogs, or like Westies, or I don't know, Great Dane, things like that, because people love their dogs. And if they could find one place where they could find all different kinds of dog necklaces, that would be so cool. There are so many ways that you could niche down in a jewellery business, and this would help you kind of pick a certain kind of person who would search for these kind of keywords and key phrases like dog or dog present, and then they'd find your jewellery brand, which would be a really cool gift for someone who likes dogs, because everybody kind of likes jewellery, and that would help you stand out in that kind of saturated market. Now, number 9 for me would be gift sets. I would absolutely love a business that did gift sets, because I really enjoy this kind of a business where it's so easy and giftable to send somebody kind of a present or something like that. But you could make this again into like a very personalized business, especially if you're on Etsy. This would work really well, where people could pick what they wanted to put in that gift box, and you could really niche down again. Maybe your gift boxes are all about kind of crystal healing, or maybe they're all about wellness and helping people who are neurodivergent, people who deal with a lot of stress. Maybe your gift sets have lots of different kind of DIY jewellery in them. Maybe they really love hair accessories. There's so many different ways that you could do gift sets. You could even niche down even more. Maybe, again, they could be fantasy themed. Maybe they could be themed on, I don't know, colours, like rainbow colours. Really think about who is your customer and who you want them to be. Now, a good way to do this is what actually do you enjoy and you like, and bring that into kind of your niche. It's going to make it look way more cohesive and way nicer if you have like one kind of colour theme, one kind of niche, and it all kind of works together in your shop. To help you find things to put in your kits, you could see what is it that people who are stressed, what kind of things do they like to buy? What kind of things do neurodivergent people, what kind of things help them, like sensory things in the kits, things like that. So number 8, another really amazing niche that I love is spell kits. So if you're into witchcraft, this could really work for you. Again, you can niche down. All your stuff could be based on maybe like the Good Witch, and maybe you could niche that even down even further. Maybe like you could do fairy spell kits, things like that. You could really look at what kind of kits that you want to do. This really works as well, especially on social media, because I see people do like mini reels where they're showing you how to use your spell kit, and this really works so well to gain more reach, and I think it's a really clever way of getting people to buy your spell kits. Now number 7 would be candles, but how could you make your candles more unique than everybody else's? Maybe you have kind of crystals coming out of them. Maybe you can personalise them and put a name on the front of every crystal every time somebody purchases one. Maybe your candles could be based around LGBT or neurodivergent. Maybe they could be based on chronic illness warriors. They could be themed around cottagecore. They could be themed around mythology. There's so many different niches that you could choose from for your candles. Maybe you could have little trinkets coming out of your candle that could be personalised, so your customer could pick maybe a love heart or a handbag because that particular customer loves them things, and it would be really cute and unique for that customer to burn that candle and see these little kind of charms coming out as it's burning. I don't know, that's just a random idea that I've come up with now, but there's so many things that you could bring into just candles, like make them more unique. Number 6 is pottery. Now if you just put into a search engine like Google and Etsy that you wanted a handmade mug, so many different mugs would come up and you'd be against so much competition. So you could do crystal mugs, you could do mugs with dogs on, you could do like floral ones, you could do LGBT, you could make grief and healing mugs, you could make, I don't know, wall hangings made out of pottery. There's so many different things that you could do. Maybe your niche could be goblin core or gothic, or I don't know, like freaky dolls or something like that. There's so many ways that you could really niche down your pottery handmade mugs, or handmade pottery or whatever it is, or a plant pot. Now number 5, I would choose mandalas. Now if you are particularly good at this craft, I just think it is such a gorgeous craft and works really well on social media. I think mandalas would work really well because the social media reach that they get from these like kind of DIY, whether you're showing how you've done it, do really well. And you could even niche down with this even further. Maybe you could make Suncatcher mandalas, or maybe again you could do pottery mandalas. So you kind of go in the opposite way here. So you're choosing your mandalas and then you're choosing a different niche. So you also do mandalas, but you're also going to do pottery, or you can do mandalas and you're going to do Suncatchers. So putting 2 niches together like that can also work. It doesn't necessarily need to be something like gothic or fantasy or mythology or colour themed. Like, it doesn't need to be that, but just having like 2 things together rather than just focusing on one thing, like all you're doing is your thing that you're focusing on is just mandalas. Bringing something else into it just makes it way more interesting and also way more searchable. Now the 4th thing I would try would be Suncatchers. I mean, I already do Suncatchers, but I do think that recently it definitely has become way more saturated, the Suncatcher niche. And I think a really good tip if you are doing Suncatchers is not just to make Suncatchers. Do something else. Like for me, I kind of like do the really large like lampshade Suncatchers, and they're like my wow pieces that I do. I do DIY Suncatchers, which do really well. I was probably one of the first to do DIY kit Suncatchers on a big scale like I have done. Maybe you're going to change your Suncatchers. They're all going to be fantasy themed. They're all going to be fairy themed. I think if you really niche down with your Suncatchers and did something more unique, it would work. Maybe all your Suncatchers are made just from beads. Don't do what everybody else is already doing with them, because you are going to be in a saturated market where everyone is doing a very similar kind of sun catcher. Try and make it your own and do your own thing. Maybe all your sun catchers are really floral and just have so many different kind of crystal beaded flowers on them, and they're always beaded flowers like that. Like, really, this is such a good tip, and I really wish that people would listen to me when I say this. Don't just make all different kinds of sun catchers. Maybe in the beginning, yeah, because you're trying to find your voice, you're trying to find your niche, your customer. And then when you find what it is that you love, really like home in on that and keep doing more of that and get better and better of that particular thing. So when I first started, I did mine kind of, they were all kind of hooped sun catchers. They were all based around crystals, and there wasn't that many people doing that at the time. Now there's lots of people doing that, but when I first started there wasn't. I was one of the first to kind of do lots of hooped sun catchers, and it did really well for me because of that. Now, number 3, I would love to start this business, would be like embroidery and beading on like clothing. So it could be like secondhand clothing, and I would like upscale it and do loads of like crystal beads on it and things. Or it would be just like clothing that I could purchase for a low price, maybe online, and then like kind of bead it. Maybe you could do like scarves, bags, show how to bead bags and scarves, and do little kits for that, which I think would really work. Or just sell kind of the bags. Like, you could buy really inexpensive bags and stitch beading onto them that made them really unique and handmade, which I think would look so cool and work really well as a business. With clothing businesses, I was always kind of skeptical because they have to be different sizes, and a lot of people kind of you can have high returns with a clothing business. But I think if you did things like handbags or maybe like one size cardigans and things like that, it would be much easier to do something like clothing and then kind of like do the stitching onto it. Now, number 2 would be wedding decor, particularly florals. I actually did have in my business floral garlands, and they did extremely well for me. And I would love to start this business again from scratch and just focus on kind of artificial flowers or maybe dried flowers, and do lots of different kind of wedding decor where people could purchase their own decor and put it up themselves. So I did these really gorgeous kind of like garlands that had flowers that I kind of glued onto ribbon, and then people would hang them up, and I did really, really well for them. People would kind of buy like £1,000 worth at a time for a big wedding, and it would save them quite a lot of money, and it was really kind of like visually exciting for the guests at their wedding. And with the wedding decor niche, I think it would work so well. You could also, with this kind of business, look at like birthdays and other kind of celebrations, but I would kind of, with my SEO, I would really use words, so search engine optimization, so it's words that you use in your listings. I would really use kind of weddings as priority, and then do a little bit of birthdays and other celebrations in there too. But yeah, like decor, basically celebration decor would be a really good niche with artificial flowers. And number 1, my last niche would be kind of textiles or fibre art, things like that. So things like macrame and weaving and felting and all them kinds of things. But what I would do is I'd make it really, really my kind of style. So you could even niche down with this. I've seen people who do textiles and like fibre art, and they kind of do like sea animals, all kind of sea animals with the fibre art, or they use certain kinds of colours with everything, or they use a certain kind of colours and it's mainly around like beading as well. So they really kind of niche down that way. You could still niche down and make all your wall hangings around gothic or rainbows, or I don't know, there's so many different niches that you could choose to do your fibre art around. But to make it really cohesive again and make it speak to one kind of customer is going to really serve you more than just trying to be really broad and reach everybody. Now, I want to know who you are. What do you create? Do you already have a business? What is it that you make? Is it macrame, jewellery? Or has this just sparked an idea in you and has made you think, oh, I want to start a business just like that? Let me know down below who you are and what kind of business you have, or what kind of business you would start. I love hearing about you, what you're dreaming up, or what it is that you're doing with your handmade businesses. YouTube does not tell me who is watching, and I really love to know who these videos help and who it is that I'm reaching with these videos. It means so much to me that it's just not me talking to the camera, and that people are actually listening and getting advice from these videos. Now, having a powerful niche is one of the best things you can do for your handmade business. It's what helps you build a true following, a cohesive brand, and really gets you to gain a wonderful community. It helps you stand out against everybody else trying to do the same thing as you. Now, you can't and shouldn't try to serve absolutely everybody. It is such a bad way to do business. You cannot serve every single person that is into pottery. You really do need to kind of niche down, and it is such a brilliant tip. So instead of trying to serve everybody, find your people. Find out where they hang out online, what Facebook groups they're in, where they hang out on Instagram, and really serve them people, learn what they love, and market specifically to that person. Now, there's a theme with all these ideas that I've picked, and that is that they are all very truly handmade and you make them with your hands mainly. Now, the reason why I've picked this is because with every single one of these niches that I've chosen, you could turn these all into DIY kits. And I think it's such an amazing idea to turn your craft into a DIY kit, because people will always love to learn from you, and people who love handmade generally are quite creative people who love to create themselves. And if you're thinking about growing a YouTube channel just like I did, it can really help your handmade business grow while teaching other people to do what it is that you do, like make macrame, make mugs, make whatever it is that you do, jewelry, fiber art, whatever it is that you make. Your customer is going to love to see you making your items, and also will probably want to buy your DIY kits too to make their very own. This can eventually open other doors for you, such as memberships like Patreon, like it did for me, and my Patreon to this day pays my mortgage for this house. My Patreon is an amazing community that I really enjoy, but also it really supports my handmade business. I still can always depend on my Patreon, and having different income streams like this for a small business is so absolutely key. And while it absolutely does take time and knowledge, it does really work, and it is so doable. And this is why I created the Artisan's Alchemy, to help handmade business owners like you and to stop you second guessing, so you have a step-by-step process where you can find out everything you need to know to grow just like I did. You can grow with clarity, consistency, and with a hell of a lot more ease, while also having a community that will support you and is doing the exact same thing you are, trying to grow a handmade business, and that is so valuable. I'll teach you how to make your products actually marketable, so it's not just beautiful but something that people want to buy in 2025. We teach everything from finding your niche, finding your ideal customer, to marketing to them and really understanding your customer, to setting up your selling platform, whether that's Etsy or Shopify, and turning your audience into actual paying customers without burning yourself out. It's for makers, dreamers and creatives who really want to take out the frustration about growing a handmade business and just know what steps to take next. If that sounds like something that you'd be interested in, then I'd love for you to join us. If you'd like to chat more about this, please book a call down below using the link. We can chat about all your dreams and goals and what it is you want for your business, and see if you're a good fit for the Artisan's Alchemy. I can't wait to hear from you. So if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. There are so many videos coming every single week just like this to help you grow your handmade business with ease. And if you'd like to dive a little deeper, please check out this video here with lots of information about how to grow your handmade business. Alright, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!